So a long time ago, this guy came into my DMs and he hit me very urgently and said he needed a lot of help, and I didn't know what was going on. But little did I know, he actually burned his business down overnight. He was making multiple 5 figures a month with his PR agency, and his main client acquisition system was cold emailing, and all of his domains and his main domain got blacklisted. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Kudus. I'm 26. I live in New York City, and I'm co-founder of Inframail, and we send tens of millions of cold emails across many of our clients. Some that you've probably heard of, like Seamless.ai, Aftership.com, Ocean.ao, Air.ai, Conversion.ai, and a ton more. And we worked with thousands of B2B companies, so trust me, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to cold email. Now, the story that I told you is probably one of the worst that I've heard. Yeah, sure, I mean, he lost 50 to 60K a month in revenue with his PR agency, but the main part was that his main domain got blacklisted, which means that his main website that he worked so hard on, that is getting organic traffic, probably referrals getting sent to it, is not going to be found as easily anymore through SEO. You rank lower. You're not going to be indexing as easily as you did before because your main domain is untrustworthy, and it just lands your whole business in a hole. So I've been thinking about that guy recently, and I was like, okay, I don't want this to happen to other people. And I remember after that happened, I was like, okay, I don't want this to happen to me. So I took a lot of preventative measures and kind of made up my rules with cold email to make sure that this never happens again. So here's 3 things that I do, which hopefully you can find some value in, that I do to make my domains and inboxes virtually bulletproof. So number 1, I'm going to talk about my starter bench rule for rotating domains and inboxes. Number 2, I'm going to go over my secret email warm-up rule. And it's always protected my cold emails from landing in the spam folder, getting blacklisted, and virtually throwing my whole business down the drain. And this works with any sending platform that you use, whether it's Instantly, Smartlead, or whatever else. You can keep your domains and inboxes for a longer period of time, which saves you money and also allows you to land in the inbox more. And number 3, I'm going to show you the naming conventions that I use to basically never ever have a chance of getting my main domain blacklisted. So yeah, let's get right into the video. By the way, like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. I promise you'll get a ton of value from this video. There's going to be, especially with rule number 2, I mean, a lot of people don't even talk about that, but like, subscribe, comment below, and share with a friend if you think this will help them. Let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm wearing this little arts and crafts thing that my fiance made me at work just for fun because my hair is going a little bit crazy. It still is crazy. Apologies for that.
Quick side note, this is actually if you already follow all the cold email rules. It doesn't include the basic rules like don't send links, don't send images. So if you're following good cold email practice, this will be the video for you.
I'm going to go over the 3 things: the starter bench rule for your cold email inboxes and domains, the top secret warm-up settings that I use in +5 and Instantly. They work like this for any sending platform, so don't worry. I'm going to show you how to do it in Instantly and also in +5. Number 3, the naming conventions for domains. So number 1, the starter bench rule is pretty simple. It's about rotating your domains and inboxes using tags, okay? And then it's going to be just like a tag A, a tag 1, or tag 2, or you can call it, tag A or tag B, right? And essentially, you're just going to have the starters come on, which is tag 1 or tag 2 or whatever. I mean, I should just call them starter versus bench. So you could put like starter or bench. And basically what you're doing is, let's say you have all of your inboxes, as you can see in +5 right here. I have a ton of inboxes, 1990, a couple thousand inboxes, almost 400 domains. So pretty simple, really solid inboxes. I'm using Inframail inboxes for this, obviously. And by the way, just a little ad here. If you want to get cold email inboxes for unlimited cold email inboxes at 1 flat rate, I definitely recommend checking out Inframail. We offer a dedicated IP, US IPs, unlimited inboxes, free automation to set up the emails, and also a one-on-one, a deliverability consultant, priority support, all that stuff. You don't have to pay per inbox, which is insane. Either way, just a little 30-second ad for you. But for all these little inboxes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I can assign a tag. So for example, if I have, let's say 2,000 inboxes, you want to have 1,000 as your starter and then 1,000 as your bench. So you send, 1 week with your starter, and then on week 2, you send with your bench. So this is pretty simple. You do it using tags. So for example, if I want to, let's say create a tag as just an example for 5 of my accounts here, I go bulk actions, I put assign tags, and then I created a tag here, but you create a tag. So you could just say starter, tag color. You could just, maybe the starter, whatever color resonates with you here, completely like red or orange. I guess that's more orange, but they got it to red. And then you could put this as the description starter, or you could put first set of domains, right? And then you create this. So now I'm going to create this tag. I'm going to assign this tag. And just like that, I have a tag, and that will be my starter, as you can see. So now when I go into my campaign, let's just say I start a new campaign, okay? XXX, we'll just call it something random, right? I'm going to go into editing the campaign. So when I go to settings here, right, I go to search tags, and then I'm going to have starter. So it's pretty simple. Like you're literally just going to put the starter for 1 week. And then once the campaign is done, on the next week when you launch campaigns on a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever, you're going to use your badge. Super simple right there. So yeah, that's how you do it. I recommend using this, because if you have 100 domains or 200 domains, I recommend investing in a lot of them. If you have like 20 or 30 domains, just double up on domains, use the starter bench rule. That's the best way to do it, just because you'll have, healthier domains overall. 1 week when you're sending and you're getting low reply rates on your cold emails, 1, 2, 3% reply rates. And this is, by the way, great for cold email reply rates, but relative to, what providers want to see, it doesn't look like real human engagement. If you're sending emails to 100 people and 3% of people reply, which is 3 people out of 100, they're going to be like, oh, this is kind of weird. It's spammy or whatever. The starter bench rule, if you have like 30 domains and you double up and then you use 30 for 1 week and then the other second set of 30 for another week, that's going to be perfect for you, because then you'll keep your domains for longer. They'll warm up when, one is sending, and then the other, when you're switching them out, the other one will warm up. That'll be perfect, right? You're going to have your domains healthy for a longer period of time. Number 2, we're going to talk about the top secret warm-up settings. Now, a lot of people don't actually know about the total warm-up email sent per day versus the daily campaign email sent. So this is a very important ratio. A lot of people just, basically vaguely say, okay, you could send 30 emails per inbox or 40 emails per inbox. Now, that is completely true. That is 100% correct. But the thing is, when you're sending 30 or 40 emails per inbox, how many of them are cold emails? How many of them are warm-up emails? Now, what I recommend is a 2-to-1 ratio. So here, a 2-to-1 ratio between your warm-up emails and cold emails. So now what this means is if you're sending, for example, 30 emails per day, right, per inbox, what you want to do is have 20 of these, 20 warm-up emails, okay? 20 of these be warm-up and 10 cold emails. Therefore, now when you're sending, 30 emails per day, all of these warm-up emails are going to be getting like 100% reply rates, which you can actually, do in the settings, right? And then the cold emails will get like 3%, right? Maybe like 1 person replies, 2 person reply, 2 people reply. So like, a third of them are going to be like, oh, okay, well, they're not going to be responded to that much relative, again, to what providers want to see. So you'll keep your domains and inboxes healthy, because the more warm-up emails you send through it and the less cold emails, the longer they'll stay. You know what I mean? Because your engagement is going to be super high in the warm-up pool. So for example, in an ideal world, let's say you're doing like 45 warm-up emails and then you're only doing like 5 cold emails or 10 cold emails, which, again, pushing at 45 warm-up emails per day is kind of a lot, or, 55 cold emails per day in total. But let's just say like something like even 30 and 10. That's actually a really good ratio, because, if you have a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio, right, you're going to be sending more warm-up emails through your inbox. And again, this stuff is arbitrary. It's a science. So test it yourself. I recommend, I've sent above, 50, 40, 50, 60 emails per inbox. I've tested many different things. I found 30 emails per day to be the best little spot. And I'm noticing 40 emails per day as well, 40 warm-up emails per day, 40 total emails per day, and 30 warm-up, 10 cold is also a really good ratio. In this situation, I have it in +5 actually, where it's 30 warm-up and 10 cold, right? As you can see, and they're performing very, very well. 99.5% warm-up scores. Everything is like bang on 100% warm-up scores. So you want to have this ratio set up into your +5 or your instantly settings. And I'm going to show you how to do this really quickly. So for example, the same, ones that we tagged as the starter, we're going to go here and we're going to bulk actions, and we're going to edit settings. And then here, I'm going to go to warm-up. Now, this is the most important thing, the daily warm-up limit here. Okay. And then on the account, the daily campaign limit here. It's pretty simple. So for the daily campaign limit, I want 10. So that means that no matter what, from this inbox, it will always cap off at 10 cold emails. That's it. So what that means is our, cold emails are going to be at a minimum and our warm-up emails are going to be pretty high. And that's going to be actually healthy for the inbox. So you could I put daily campaign limit, 10 cold emails, pretty easy. And then campaign email ramp up, we're going to enable this. So that basically it just does like a slow warm up. So initial daily email. So once you first start campaigns, you could start at like something like 2 or 3, right? 3. And then the daily increment could be like 3, right? And then you'll be at 10 in like a few days, right? When you start your campaign. So it's going to be like a slow ramp up. And then the warm up is pretty simple, right? So you have a daily warm up limit. That's going to be 30. Right? They have a max limit of 50 here. You could do 50 if you want, and then like 10 or 15 cold. That's up to you. But I just found 30 warm up and 10 cold to work really, really good. Daily warm up limit, again, 30 emails. I recommend that. So total, you're sending 40, right? But in this case, I have a 3-to-1 ratio, right? 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio is good. Obviously, the more warm-up emails that you're sending to the inbox, the better. But if you prefer to send like less emails total overall per inbox, then that's, you could do 30 total instead of 40. But either way, that's pretty simple. And then down here on the warm-up reply rate, you want to make this at 100. Okay. And then you save the warm-up settings. You're good to go. So now I'm going to be sending 30 warm-up emails and they're all going to get 100% reply rates. And then the account itself, the daily campaign limit is going to be at 10. right? Pretty cool there. So just like that, you have that set up, and that is, goes the same for Instantly. So just to quickly show you the tag situation with Instantly, you can have this, just put a tag here, and then you create a tag, call it starter, right? And then you just put starting set of domains, and then you create, and then that's it, okay? And then you can assign this to these accounts. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard. So now if you want to add a tag, by the way, on Instantly, you could literally just put select all 40. You go to the tag accounts here, and then you could just tag it whatever you want to call it. So for this one, we called it starter, so we could just tag it as starter. And then for some reason, something weird went wrong, but that's weird. So either way, it gave me an error when I tried to use the starter tag, whatever. It's probably some bug. But either way, you could tag it like this. And then when you go into the warm-up settings, you're going to go here, check all your inboxes, and then you're going to go to bulk edit the settings. And then right here, again, daily campaign limit 10. Right? And just like that, you're good to go. Okay. And then also right here, the where is it? The warm up. Let me see. Increase per day, 3. And then daily warm up limit, 30. Okay. And then reply rate, 100 to put 90, whatever. Right. But that's it. So the reply rate being high means the warm up emails are going to get high engagement, which is very, very good. And then on top of that, we're only sending very few cold emails. The daily campaign limit is 10. Right. So we have a 3-to-1 ratio in this situation, and it's perfect. Like, it's literally perfect. So you're going to hide your cold emails, and it's very, very important to make note of that. When you're deciding how many inboxes you need, right, for your outreach, you want to make sure that you're actually having the right match. So for example, if you want to send 1,000 emails a day, you know that you need to divide this number by like at least 10 cold emails per inbox. So you need about 100 inboxes to do it very safely. And, if you do 100 inboxes divided by 5, that's going to be about 20 domains. Not a big investment at all. And you'll be able to send 1,000 emails a day, which is, insane. Now we're going to go into the last part, which is naming conventions for domains. Now, as I told you guys the story about the guy, all of his, secondary domains were associated with the name of his main domain. So when you buy domains, or I should say secondary domains, you want to make sure that the naming convention is something that is similar to the niche, but not exactly the brand. Because I've noticed that it could cause some issues. That's how it was for him. By the way, he wasn't doing any outreach with his main domain. So for example, if, I have a company called Gatorade.com. Right? Then now the secondary, domains, I'm not good. Let's say Gatorade is a drink company. I'm going to put drinkcompany.com, right? Drinks.com, drinkenergy.com, right? And I'll show you exactly how this works. So in +5, if I go to my campaigns right here, I scroll all the way down, you could see I'm using a bunch of .info domains, by the way, which are performing super well. But even though I'm outreaching for Inframail, I'm just using words around the niche Inframail. So email anchor, email board, email branch, email corner, email deck. And now it's never going to be closely tied to Inframail. Now, some of them do have Inframail. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to never do this, but you don't want like hundreds or thousands of domains attached to your main branded domain. That would not be good. Right? So we use email field, email forge, etc. Right? We have all those ones. And now I have a set, of course, with Inframail, which is all Inframail branded stuff. But I wanted to, let you guys know that you don't have to go that route of using your main domain. I do things for testing reasons to make sure, does it have an effect? Does it not? Whatever. But if you want to be extra safe, just use, words like, for example, if you have a home service company, whatever your company name is, let's say it's home remodeling, Arizona.com, right? Just put secondary domains around, home remodeling, right? Remodeling, az.com. And then you could put homeowneraz.com, whatever, right? Just stuff like that. And that should be really good. So just to go over the 3 rules in conclusion, the start a bench rule, tag the first set and second set of your domains and inboxes and rotate them out week by week. So week 1, use the starter, week 2, use the bench, and then rotate. Keep going like that, okay? While the other is still warming up. Number 2, the top secret warm-up settings. Keep your emails at a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio, okay, between your emails and cold emails. I recommend a 3-to-1, why not? I've tested it. It works very well. 2-to-1, again, if you don't want to send as many emails per inbox, you could do that, but I recommend 3-to-1 ratio. It's really good. And then number 3 is naming conventions for domains. So you want to use, secondary domain names that are not closely tied to your primary domain by brand. You want to do it something that's like very niche specific. For example, like I said, I gave you a bunch of examples. But anyways, I hope this makes sense. I hope this hat wasn't like weird and made this whole video weird or whatever. But I hope this helps. And comment below, by the way, if you have any questions or you have any videos that you want me to make for the future. Like the video, share with a friend. I hope you implement this again. Remember, if you didn't actually implement anything or you don't change anything, you didn't learn anything. So make sure you do implement stuff. Like the video, subscribe, please. And in the link below, I have a way to sign up to Inframail. You get 10 free domains when you sign up with us. And you can also book in a 15-minute Inframail demo with me to see how you can actually get unlimited inboxes at one flat rate. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.